Mets win, baby, 9-3 over the Miami Marlins. And what's a good home opener for the Mets. It started off a bit shaky. Well, not necessarily start off, I should say. It was shaky at times throughout the game. Dennis Santana comes into the game and melts down a bit. The offense definitely had their moments where they just did not look spectacular at all. But for the most part, Mets grinded out a solid win here today for the home opener, and we're going to talk about it. Before we do, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy, subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video or go live next on the channel. But let's talk about this game and jump straight into it. So top of the first, Luis Arias and Jorge Soler get back-to-back groundouts. Garrett Cooper, known Mets killer, gets himself a single, and then Jazz Chisholm flies out. That ends the inning. Bottom of the first, the Mets had some good at-bats in the first inning, but unfortunately couldn't really do much with it. Brandon Nimmo gets a leadoff walk. Starling Marte flies out, but still a competitive, I think it was an 8 or 9 pitch at-bat. Brandon Nimmo then steals second. So nice to see Nimmo steal a base, even though he slid awkwardly when he tried to steal a base beforehand on that. Francisco Lindor then flies out, and then Pete Alonso hits into a ground out. But again, some quality at-bats in the first inning. I at least thought so. So definitely an improvement from what we saw in Milwaukee already. Top of the second. Granted, Edward Cabrera couldn't throw a strike if his life depended on it. So top of the second, though, Garcia pops out to start things off. Gene Segura then hits into a ground out. Jesus Sanchez then walks, and then Nick Fortes ends up striking out. We go to the bottom of the second, and Mets just waste 2 base runners as Jeff McNeil and Mark Canha both draw walks, and then Vogelbach strikes out. Escobar strikes out. He hears it from the crowd, and Tomas Nido grounds out. We go to the top of the third where John Birdie grounds out to start things off, and then Luis Arias hits a double off the wall. And this guy is annoying. He's annoying me. Luis Arias is just straight up annoying me. And yeah, he had Mets killer written all over him when he went to the Marlins to begin with, but my God, seeing it in action now, it's getting annoying. Jorge Soler then pops out, and then Garrett Cooper grounds out. That's the end of the inning. And the third inning definitely got a bit shaky here as Brandon Nimmo walks, Starling Marte walks, Francisco Lindor walks. Bases loaded, no outs. What will they do? Pete Alonso strikes out. Jeff McNeil strikes out. And I thought for damn sure it was a 3-1 count to Mark Canha. Ended up being 3-2 afterwards. I thought for damn sure that they were going to waste bases loaded with no outs. I thought for sure. But thankfully, they don't. And Mark Canha draws a walk, and that makes it a 1-0 game. Brazoban comes into the game to pitch for the Marlins, so the Marlins already had to go to their bullpen. They drove up the pitch count. Granted, again, Cabrera's command was just completely all over the map today. So I don't know how much credit you can give to the Mets for drawing some good at-bats, because again, I don't know. But Vogelbach ends up getting himself a single, credited with a single, even though this should have been, I mean, I don't know how you credit an error, but it was a weird play where Brazoban just didn't hustle to first base to cover the bag, and Vogelbach ended up beating it out, and that made it a 2-0 game. And then Escobar ends up grounding out to end the inning. Not surprised. Top of the fourth comes along. Jazz Chisholm strikes out. Garcia hits it to a ground out, and then Gene Segura hits a single off of Tyler McGill, and McGill ended up looking, it looked bad. It was the hardest hit ball, I think, of the game, that Gene Segura single, and it went off of Tyler McGill's ankle, or it looked like his ankle, might have been just above it, but regardless, thankfully he was okay, and he stayed in the game. And then Jesus Sanchez pops out, bottom of the fourth. Tomas Nido gets a leadoff single. Brandon Nimmo then gets a walk. What will the Mets do? Back-to-back outs as usual, but thankfully they add some 2-out magic as Pete Alonso gets himself a single to make things 3-0, and it was a solid hit as well. So first quality run, I would say, of the game. And then Nardi comes in to pitch for the Marlins, and McNeil ends up striking out there. We go to the top of the fifth, where Nick Fortes ends up walking the lead off the inning, and then John Birdie grounds it to a double play. Luis Arias grounds out. Bottom of the fifth, the Mets go down in order. Top of the sixth, Marlins go down in order. So Tyler McGill, very, very solid, which we're going to talk more about. Then Barnes comes in to pitch for the Marlins in the sixth inning. Nido and Nimmo strike out back-to-back, but then Starling Marte hits himself his first home run of the season, crushes this one to left field to make it a 4-0 ball game. So looking good. Lindor then walks. He ends up stealing a base, and he was able to advance to third because Fortes just didn't know how to throw the baseball from behind the plate at all today. That was his second bad throw. Pete Alonso then pops out. We go to the seventh, where Ottavino comes in to pitch, and he had himself definitely a way better game than last time out, as he gets a 1-2-3 inning with a pop out and 2 strikeouts, and that slider looked disgusting today. And I think it was the first pitch even on Garcia where he just absolutely made him look stupid with that slider. So very happy with that. Tanner Scott comes in the pitch for the bottom of the seventh. McNeil draws a walk. Canna gets hit by a pitch. It's a day that ends in Y, isn't it? Tommy Pham comes in the pitch hit for Vogelback. He ends up walking. Eduardo Escobar then hits into an out, but it ends up driving in a run to make things 5-0. So we can't get too mad there, I guess, right? But it would be nice if Escobar could actually, get a legit hit here. Anyway, then Tomas Nido gets a sac fly, but it ends up being a double play. That made it 6-0 though, because Canna crossed the plate before Escobar got gunned out there at second base. We go to the top of the eighth, where Dennis Santana came in the pitch, and oh my God, why does it have to be this way? He gets back-to-back outs, no problem. And then, all of a sudden, walks Arias, walks Soler, and then Garrett Cooper. Did I mention he's a Mets killer already? Oh yeah, I did. He ends up getting a home run, and that cuts it to a 6-3 game. So all of a sudden, it's and Brooks Raley has to come into the game because it becomes close. He ends up allowing a single to Jazz Chisholm, and then obviously Garcia grounds out to end the inning. But that single that they probably could have got, even then, it was a bullet. But Brooks Raley was just in the way of Francisco Lindor seeing that ball. Anyway, Castano comes in the pitch for the Marlins. He walks Brandon Nimmo, strikes out Starling Marte, and then Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso go back-to-back with home runs, which is something that we need from them, and we need them to display their power because the rest of this lineup just does not have a lot of power, to be completely honest with you. So that made it a 9-3 game, and then McNeil and Canna go down. So that ended up saving them from the need to bring in David Robertson, which was nice. LaCastro came in for defensive purposes. Denny Reyes came in to close out this, not really close out, but like, you know what I mean. He ends up allowing a leadoff single to Gene Segura, strikes out Jesus Sanchez, and then gets Nick Fortes to ground into a double play. That is your ball game. And the final score, 9-3. Hits, 6 on each side. 1 error for the Marlins, none for the Mets. Your winning pitcher is Tyler McGill. Your losing pitcher is Edward Cabrera. And in terms of how the Mets lineup did today, not necessarily the greatest. I mean, 12 walks. It just goes to show you, and it's not like there were close pitches where it's like, oh, wait, the Mets are drawing walks. Some good eyes there. A lot of those pitches were just wildly out of the strike zone, and the Marlins just couldn't throw. They just couldn't throw a strike. They just couldn't throw a strike if their life depended on it. And yeah, the Mets allowed 12 walks in this one. Or they draw 12 walks in this one, I should say. The Marlins allowed 12. So I guess that's okay. I mean, 4 of those were to Brandon Nimmo, but in terms of how they did in runners in scoring position, 2 for 15. You want better. 9 left on base. You want better. In terms of how the lineup did, Brandon Nimmo had himself a pretty good day. I mean, 4 walks, I guess. We take it. Going 0 for 1. Sure. I don't really have much to say with Brandon Nimmo other than, okay, he got some walks. Starling Marte went 1 for 4. He ended up having a walk, striking out once today. Pretty okay day for Starling Marte. Francisco Lindor, he went 1 for 3 with 2 walks and that home run, of course. Solid day for Francisco Lindor. We need more of that from him going forward. Pete Alonso, 2 for 5. We need more of that from him going forward. Great day for him. Jeff McNeil went 0 for 3 with 2 walks. You want to see him hit the ball. Mark Canha 0 for 2 with 2 walks. You want to see him hit the ball. Tim LaCastro didn't get in that bat. Vogelback went 1 for 3. Weird hit, so I'm not going to go crazy here. And then Tommy Pham drew a walk in his at bat. Escobar went 0 for 4. Yeah, not surprised. And then Tomas Nido went 1 for 3 with a strikeout. It's just the fact that the Mets had opportunities multiple times in this game to blow the doors off, and they just didn't. Like, I want to see you kick their teeth in, and I want to see you blow the doors open on the Marlins here and beat them up like the Brewers beat the Mets up. It's just that's what I want to see. I know it's nitpicking, and I know it's, oh, they got 9 runs. How could you be upset? I just want to see some. I want to see some more hits. I do, and I know that it's hard to do that when the Marlin pitchers just didn't throw strikes, but it's just what I want to see. When it comes to the pitching side of things, Tyler McGill needs to stay here when Justin Verlander gets healthy. He needs to. He's been arguably their best pitcher, well, outside of Senga in his first start, which he's getting a crack at it again tomorrow, so we'll see. But Tyler McGill needs to be here over David Peterson, over Carlos Carrasco. 6 innings of work. He ended up only allowing 3 hits, 2 walks, and getting 3 strikeouts. Only 3 strikeouts, but still got a lot of good contact outs. I'm very happy with what we got from Tyler McGill. 6 innings to get from him. That's just good work there. Good work. And that's what you expect from a guy like that, to give you 5 to 6 innings. So I'm happy with what he gave us. Adam Ottavino got 2 strikeouts in 1 inning of work. Very good day at the office for Adam Ottavino. Very happy there. Dennis Santana was looking good until he allowed a hit and walked 2 and allowed 3 runs. Yeah, not good for Dennis Santana. Brooks Raley, meh. I mean, he allowed a hit, but it was kind of a bullet of a hit. I can't be too mad there because it could have been an out, but regardless, still, Brooks Raley was meh. And then Reyes actually was pretty solid, only allowing a hit and getting a strikeout. So, yeah, that's your ball game. And I don't really have much else to say other than I'm happy with the fact that they beat a team that they're supposed to beat. Again, I'd like them to blow the doors open sooner if they could, when they have the opportunity to. I'd like them to capitalize on it, but that's really all I have negative to say. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Mets.